All right, ready? Cool. Hey guys, Caleb here for Moment, and I just want to show you how to get started and really walk you through the new Moment app. So, super excited about the app. This video is not really going to show you how to go, shoot in it. It's not going to show you examples, but what I will show you is every single option and just kind of walk you through the app and how you navigate it. So, we have an iPhone here, it's an 8 Plus, and we also have a Galaxy S9, so the Android version of our app. It works for both, which is awesome. So download it in the App Store if you haven't and you found this video somehow, or in the Play Store for Android or Google devices. So primarily I'll be showing you on the iPhone and in tandem the S9 here. The user interface and functionality of the app are the same across both platforms. I will be touching the iPhone because it's a little closer to me, but just know it is the same on the Android devices. So the first time you download it and open up the app, I already have done it, but you're gonna be greeted with the permissions menu, so you're gonna have to accept that. It's gonna wanna access your cameras, your camera roll, and your microphone, and locations if you wanna allow that for geotagging. So the whole user interface of the app kind of functions as manual control, professional feels for your phone like a DSLR camera. So when you see the toolbar on the bottom, we're gonna go through left to right what each of the options are. So starting out with shutter speed, you can manually control if you want a slower shutter speed or a faster shutter speed by going left to right. Same with the Android phone. You'll see the tool option is on the bottom, and then when you select that, you have this upper bar, which is actually your scroll dial. So it's all right within a thumb or finger's distance. Yeah, so once you move it, it's actually locked in, and you'll get the notification right underneath shutter speed or any of these options with that little white bar. That white bar says that's locked in, and when you move it, it doesn't change. All right, so moving along, next over you have ISO, and basically ISO is the digital noise sensitivity of your camera sensor. So the lower the ISO is what you want typically, because it gives you less noise, makes the picture look a little bit better. But when you're in low light or indoors, you're gonna wanna boost that up. So far right, you have a higher ISO. So basically these are your two main types of exposure, and it works on Android as well, ISO. All right, so shutter speed, ISO are here, and they're locked in, as you can see. If at any time you wanna unlock these, all you have to do is double tap, and it will reset the phone to an automatic, picks your exposure for you. So, oh, we're not in it. So you tap it, you hold it over to lock it, it automatically locks itself, and then to get out, you double tap it. So EV right in the center is what the app kind of default starts on. That's kind of the simplest way to say, hey, I want my exposure down a little, I want it up a little without actually touching your shutter speed or ISO. So say you're back to normal here, double tapped out of that. EV, all you'll do is open it up. So you want a picture of your hand, say you want it a little darker, you'll just go down. And that's kind of blending ISO, shutter speed, letting the phone decide for you. So that's what EV is. You have it here too. So moving over to autofocus here, that's pretty basic. That's your phone is gonna pick autofocus for you. But if you start moving that, so if you're on AF, you tap it once and you start to move the focus. That initiates manual focus, and you can go all the way left for a really close-up look, or all the way right for a farther look. It's as simple as that. Manual focus a lot of the times will be used for macro photography when you really want to lock that in, or in video when you don't want it hunting for focus all the time and you just hard select what you're shooting. It's a great feature to have. Again, double tap on the actual words on the bottom, single tap to initiate the bar on top, double tap to get back to auto or original. And then far right menu, super simple, is auto white balance. Or again, if you move it, see how that is super warm, super cool on the left. That's your white balance. It's going off of the Kelvin scale. So traditional daylight temperature, which we're running right here from this light, is 5,600 Kelvin. And that is kind of your white balance settings. Double tap to go back to auto. A lot of the times for video, I like to lock that into a manual setting. So if you're panning from the grass to the sky, it's not gonna change your color temperature mid-shot. So having the option to lock that in, just keep that at 56. I do that a lot of the times. You're locked in there. So For instance, say you want your ISO low, you want your shutter speed right about there. Now all your settings are manually locked, which is great, and it's not gonna change on you. So that kind of concludes the control bar on the bottom, and now let's dive into this little upper bar and show you those options. So starting up here on the left, on the top you have grids, and this is great, super helpful for getting the right cropping when you're shooting. You have 3 different options.
Ooh, the little blue lines.
Ooh.
Ooh, Android's better.
So next you have flash, which you have no flash option. You have auto, which is gonna choose for you, and you have hard select flash, so this should fire the flash. Yep. Over here you have the timer, 3 second, 10 second, and nothing. So basically that's super easy. That'll take a picture in 3 seconds. Little countdown on the bottom, which looks great. And that fires off 3 shots. So if you're taking a group selfie, you know, someone's face, their eyes won't be closed, so you can make sure you get the shot every time. Okay, so the next one over on the top is the file format. And this is a big deal for our app because this allows you to shoot in RAW or TIFF, JPEG, or the Apple has the HEIF for the high efficiency file format. So that's essentially a better version of a JPEG. Takes less storage on your phone, but gives you just the same amount of like a good compressed look. So I always shoot in RAW for photos. It's the best, highest quality file type for editing in post. I do a lot of editing for fun. I bring the photos to my computer or into an editing app, and RAW just gives you that much more information in the image to mess with. So giving you that option is right here, and that's where you toggle what file type you want to shoot in. If you're running low on space on your phone, say you're on vacation and you've shot 1,000 photos and you're almost out of space, I would encourage you to shoot in the HEIF or in JPEG. So just to save that space. So those are the file types right there. And on the far right, it's pretty cool. This is a little option for the moment lenses specifically. This doesn't actually change the image or give you any type of image correction. This is telling you in the metadata what lens you shot on. So if you wanted to know, hey, which ones did I shoot the tele on, or which ones did I shoot with the wide on a trip, you can bring it back to your computer or within the app. And if you've selected wide, it will tell you in the metadata. So I take a photo there, I look at the gallery, and it's gonna say moment wide 18mm right there. So that's a pretty cool option to have just for if you're really into knowing what lens you shot something on and you've forgot on the field. You can also tap no lens because nothing's on right now. So that kind of concludes the menu bar on top. Next we'll transition into kind of the settings menus, which is these 3 lines here. Nice and consistent. This is only a red bar on top because I'm screen recording right now, but you'll see it right there. So, okay, 3D shutter on the iPhone, because they have 3D touch, is a little different than Android, but basically that option toggled on gives you this, which is pretty cool. You can half click to focus and expose, full press, like the force touch, to fire the shot. So if your hand's here, you can say boom, and then push. So back into settings here, we have the histogram. You could toggle that on and off, and a histogram basically just gives you a cool way of reading exposure on the screen. And you can see that it's right here, and it changes depending on the scene. There's not much going on here, but you can see that little line happening. Location, there you go, allow moment to use your location. I will click allow. Okay, and then right here is where you can change. Say you didn't want to shoot in that HEIF file format, you wanted to shoot JPEG, good old JPEG, you can select that right here in the menu. So that's an easy change. And you can see that change reflected right on top here. When you're switching those file formats again, it will say JPEG. Cool, so back into settings. Okay, video as well. This is video capture on iOS devices. You have the ability to do H.264, which is kind of the classic, it's like the JPEG version of video, or the HEVC, which is the Apple's kind of high compressed, but still good looking codec for video, will save you more space. And then you have your classic menu options. App version, you have more getting started stuff, you have moment gear, which I would highly suggest you buy more moment gear if you have the app and want to get into the moment family. You can check out Moment Travel or the Momentist for more tips and tricks and awesome resources right from the app, which is nice. Same with Android. You have all the good stuff. Shop Moment gear, Momentist, right there. So another great feature I want to talk about now is the 1X and 2X. On iOS, you can actually hard select. This is an iPhone 8 Plus. You can do this with a 7 Plus or an iPhone 10. You can select which lens it's shooting out of. So on the traditional native app on the phone, it doesn't actually, you can hit the 2X button, but it's basically choosing for you which lens it's shooting out of. So this is giving you a hard selection of what lens it's shooting out of. So 1X and 2X for tele. That option's great when you want to shoot moment lenses and put the tele lens over the other tele lens, giving you a 4 times equivalent. Cool, so that is kind of the overall look of the front of the app when you open it up. You also have your classic flip around, get the selfie shot. Hey, Niles.
Hey. I was just on my phone.
Yeah, I know.
Reading about the World Cup.
So that button's, you know how it is. It's the selfie button. Flip that around. We didn't forget about you. So there you go, and you can click right into the gallery, which is great. You can select from all your photos here. You have your videos, your favorites, camera roll. It's very fast. And then you have a quick button to get back into the camera to capture those images or videos, which will perfectly take me into the video settings on the phone. So down on the bottom right, you have video option. And currently video is not available for Android for the Moment app, but we will get that in the future. So right now it's just iOS, which I'll walk you through now. Okay, so video takes the same approach for the user interface as the photos did. So you have this nice menu bar on the bottom, just a good look manual controls, and very similar. So you start with shutter speed on the left, and for 24 frames per second, you can shoot 1/48, which is great, thank you. Moving over, again, ISO, keep it low or you'll get a little noise, but turn it up if you need to, depending on your setting. So exposure comp is kind of like the auto exposure version of the photo mode. If you just want to pop into the video real quick, get a quick clip, you can lock that in. And again, the same thing, right when you turn these, it locks. So in both photo and video mode, you cannot lock the EV, the exposure comp, in the center while also locking shutter speed or ISO. Basically, this takes the place of shutter speed and ISO, so you have to pick one or the other. Are you gonna lock shutter speed and ISO, or are you gonna do kind of the more simple way and just lock the center one? Okay, so moving over again, autofocus or manual focus, super easy. That's locked in because you got the white line on the bottom, and then auto white balance. In video mode, you also have the capability to do 1X or 2X, which is cool because you basically have a built-in tele lens now for video. Hello, see? And back to 1X. So on the top, you have grids. Again, you have the flash, which is the light. It's on right now. And you have, right here, you have stabilization. So stabilization, you have two options. You have auto, which the phone's kind of picking for you, or you have it off. Basically, when you see the little A on the corner, that means stabilization's on, and when you have it off, then you don't have stabilization, which is kind of nice sometimes. If you're using a gimbal, you'll want to make sure that's off. If you're also shooting, sometimes with the lenses, like stabilization can make the image look a little like warpy because it's trying to correct what you want a little shaken. So depending on if you're making a film or not, sometimes it's nice to have that off. And so moving along, you have resolution. So you can shoot 4K, 720, or 1080, all in the respective frame rates that your phone supports. So in 720, you can crank that all the way to 720, 240. And on this phone, you can do 1080, 240. 4K goes up to 60 frames per second. And the Moment app supports all those frame rates. And last but not least, you have the lens selection for the video too. So that about wraps it up. Thanks for checking out the Moment app. Again, all these features, all the extra features are with the Pro version. So all you get if you get the free version is just kind of the center exposure compensation, which is great, but to unlock the full potential of this app, you gotta pay the price. If you do have any other questions though, feel free to reach out to us or drop a comment on this video. If not, yeah, keep playing around with it, have fun shooting, and yeah, most important thing, get those good photos and have fun and those videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.